Now that Spider-Man and Deadpool are working together, who caused the entire incident from the first storyline? Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panel, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. In our last video, Deadpool was hired to kill none other than Peter Parker, which he did, twice. But after he learned that Peter wasn't actually evil, Deadpool went into the underworld to rescue him, and even though Peter came back to life, his run with Mephisto left him feeling as though there was something missing from his life. Over at Parker Industries, Peter sits in his office staring at the birthday card that Deadpool left for him when he woke up from being dead. Anna Maria goes over a list of villains who could have possibly put the hit out on him, but Peter tells her that this is someone new. Someone good, because they went as far as to replace him while he was dead. Anna Maria then asks, if that's the case, what did this person take? And Peter sits thinking about the voice that told him he is missing something from his life. So Anna Maria asks again, and Peter tells her he knows what they took, but for now, they need to start tracking the beacons that he left inside of Deadpool's pouches. Elsewhere, Wade Wilson begins his surveillance on the glass building of the person who hired him to kill Peter Parker. As he watches, Spider-Man's voice tells Wade that he killed Peter Parker because he thought he was a monster. And Wade says, yeah, but I did bring him back to life. I even tucked him into bed, and Peter stops him, telling him, I need to know one thing. Was the whole thing a lie? You wanted to start a new chapter, or was it a lie to get to my boss? But before Deadpool can answer, the glass house begins to shine, and Peter says that they're gonna finish this after they deal with this obvious death trap. Inside, a man drinks his wine from a straw, and he says that it's his big day, you know, his rebirthday. From outside, Spider-Man and Wade crash in, and Spider-Man says, I'm assuming you're patient Zero, right? And Zero tells him, yeah, but go attack my monstrosities. Wade asks him, are they human? I mean, I was gonna say gross, but human works, so that means no killing, right? One of the creatures charges at Spider-Man and he says, no, we are not killing them. Zero tells him that he thought he altered their genetics so that they were no longer human. And as Wade holds another creature in a headlock, Spider-Man says that he's picking up signals coming in from the devices on the back of the creature's necks. So Spider-Man and Wade start ripping the devices out of their necks, and as they fall to the ground, they begin screaming in pain and they beg to be killed. Zero smiles, telling them, yeah, that was a control unit. But it was also a pain dampener, dopamine booster, and most importantly, the thing that stopped them from knowing what they'd become. So now that they're self-aware, they're basically going to lose any will to live. Great job, guys! Zero then says that he's pretty sure they have a lot of questions, but Spider-Man stops him, telling him, no, I don't. And Wade tells him, really? Cause I'm completely lost right now, and would like some answers. As the two of them jump back into fighting, Spider-Man explains that this is the guy who hired Wade to kill Peter Parker, and once he was dead, he became Peter Parker and stole every piece of data that they had on genetic splicing. A large creature then appears and Zero says, well, that's close, but not all of it. Really, you should be asking why out of all of the powerful beings, I chose you. The large creature then grabs onto Peter and Wade tells him, screw it, I'm going in hot, and he shoots the creature's arms. As Spider-Man jumps away, he tells Wade to stop Patient Zero. Shoot him in the kneecaps, ankles, anything. Wade stops for a moment and he tells Spider-Man that with this new attitude, I'm so turned on right now and seriously terrified of you. Spider-Man goes back to fighting off the large creature while Wade tries to stop Zero from escaping by throwing grenades. And then Peter shouts, this is a glass house! And Wade realizes it by asking, and? Zero walks through a portal and tells them that he'll see them downstairs, and then the grenades explode. The blast shoots the two of them down into the basement where Spider-Man lands and Wade sort of lands. Zero stands at a device and he tells them that he took the name Patient Zero because he was infected not by a disease but by men, just like Spider-Man and Wade. As Zero goes on, Spider-Man and Wade jump back up, firing away, but webs and bullets pass right through Zero. He then activates the device next to him, telling them that this device here is a superconductor that attracts very specific elements. Wade shouts, that's too many words! Is it a bomb? And Peter tells him, no, it's a glass magnet and we're in a glass house. The device goes off and a blinding light shines into the room. Spider-Man manages to create a web barrier to protect them while Wade tried to protect them. As shards of glass stick into him, Spider-Man says that the webbing will last for a few hours, but now they have time. How much of them being friends is real? And Wade tells him, I messed up, I admitted it. The only reason I killed Peter Parker is because I thought it was a scumbag, and I didn't tell you because I didn't want to hurt your feelings knowing that your boss was really a bad guy. As Wade removes his hood, he tells Spider-Man that he's trying to change, but Peter doesn't say a word. The reason he stopped talking is because Wade's face is healed, and Wade asks, is there glass in my teeth? Elsewhere, Zero tells a woman that he wasn't sure which flavor she wanted, so she got them both. But he promises once he's done, she'll be one and the same as them. A few days later, Spider-Man and Wade find themselves battling against the hateful Hexid while they search for Zero. As Spider-Man punches Squid, Wade tosses a grenade at Gibbon, telling him that if this crime spree doesn't work, they should consider getting a job as a stripper. And White Rabbit tells him, "That's sexist!" But Wade says, "Actually, I wasn't talking to you." As the blast blows up Gibbon, he shouts, "He thinks I'm handsome!" After throwing Squid into Swarm, telling them, if you guys are gonna team up, you really need to consider getting a team with better talent. And Ox then shouts, "Ox, I'm sad now. I smother my feelings with violence." And Boar Bear Guy says, "For the record, I do have a business degree." Wade looks at the two of them and tells them, "You both look like Inside Out and Zootopia had an embarrassing idiot child." "Oh wait, you're an animal-themed team!" And Spider-Man asks him, "You just got that?" After shooting Boar Bear Guy in the butt, Wade says that the bee guy kind of throws off the whole thing. And just then White Rabbit stabs Wade in the back. As she jumps away, she tells him, "I like you. I would like to do things with your corpse." And Wade tells her, "Thank you for choosing my heart and not my face. Kind of been broken so many times, I don't even notice anymore." Spider-Man swings in, kicking White Rabbit away and shouts, "Kicks are for kids!" And Wade tells him, "While I appreciate your new mean attitude, you kind of just said kick kids." Spider-Man and Wade continue beating on the groove, whether it is kicking or blowing them up. And then they soon realize that one of Spider-Man's webs to Squid is basically choking him to death. So Spider-Man takes out a web solvent to remove the web, but it's not working. Spider-Man tells Wade to give him the smallest knife that he has, and Wade tells him, "Yeah, about that. Do you remember Gibbon ever being stabbed like that?" Before Spider-Man can ask who, a sword flies through the air into Squid's head. Suddenly, a voice begins to sing, "Itsy Bitsy Spider." And Wade says that there's a new player that joined their game. He starts looking around, asking if Ashton Kutcher is going to show again. And then an elevator drops on Boar Bear Guy. Spider-Man shouts, "Who's there?" and then stops and says that his spider sense isn't detecting anything. A wire falls from the ceiling, grabbing White Rabbit by the throat, and then more swords are thrown into Ox. Spider-Man manages to shoot a web into the controls to stop the wire, but as White Rabbit falls down, she points over asking if they see that. And Wade says, "Sweet holy crap on a stick!" Across the room, a Spider/Deadpool creation says she made them something. "Do they like it?" Spider-Man shouts, "Who are you?" And the woman tells him, "Don't be scared. I'm one of you, just like you." Spider-Man and Wade try to catch her, but the woman crawls up the walls, telling them, "Maybe next time you can touch me." As the woman retreats, the doors to the warehouse fly open and SWAT teams begin to surround Spider-Man and Wade, telling them that they're under arrest. Later, as the sun begins to rise, Spider-Man and Wade sit on top of a bridge eating ice cream. As the two of them eat, Wade says that he wants him to know, and Spider-Man tells him he doesn't have to. But Wade continues, telling him, "Thanks for believing in me. I've never really felt so good in my life, and I owe it to you." Spider-Man tells him the feeling's mutual, though he didn't do much. He's a good guy, and good guys stick together. A little while later, over at Wade's secret man cave apartment, Wade asks Spider-Man if he's busy playing Overwatch now. And Spider-Man responds with, "I am crushing Overwatch. Swagman 3600 just got served a little dessert with a main course of ponage." Wade tells him that's nice. They are wanted for murder, so when he's done, they should probably go look for the blue punk rock spiral girl. "We're gonna call her Itsy Bitsy," Spider-Man says. "That's lame," Deadpool tells him. "You're lame." So the two of them talk. Spider-Man tells Wade not to worry so much. His spider tracer has been sending out a signal for the last few hours on the same frequency as Patient Zero's teleport tech. Wade asks him what does that mean, and Spider-Man says, well, Zero had a vendetta, making monstrosities in his basement. And then suddenly, we get attacked by a blue woman, so I invited him over. A portal opens up behind Wade, and he tells Spider-Man, "You're a raging hemorrhoid of spider eggs, and I hate you so much." Zero steps through the portal, electrocuting Wade, shouting, "I come in peace! Help me!" Spider-Man looks at Wade and asks why, and Zero says that he just wanted to have one last shot on the idiot before he surrendered. Spider-Man waits for a moment and then says that these are acceptable terms of surrender. Wade rolls on the ground in pain, stating, "No! My groin is charged with the power cosmic!" Zero tells them, "Look, no more games, no more fighting. You want to know everything? Fine, just promise you'll protect me." Spider-Man begins to state, "They promise, but to start, who the hell are you?" Zero takes off his mask, asking if they seriously still haven't figured it out yet. Wade goes first, Freddy Krueger's love child with Abby from Dance Moms, and then Spider-Man follows up, Deadpool's left cheek from an alternate universe given human form. And Wade continues, Chad from The Bachelor after too many flaming shots. And Spider-Man finishes. Every before image from Proactive merged into a walking acne culture. Zero begins to shout, "I literally made a deal with the devil to execute revenge on Deadpool and Spider-Man. This is why I hated you. Open your eyes. But as Zero is about to say his name, a voice says, "Boring." And suddenly Zero's body begins to fall into pieces. Wade jumps on to Spider-Man shouting, "Aye! He has Picasso powers of self-cubism!" I hid my fear with stupidity. P.S. I'm pretty sure we're not alone. Itsy Bitsy then hangs out of the ceiling, stating, Zero was just another egomaniac in a half mask with gnarly skin. How 90s can a person get? Wade opens fire, and then Spider-Man grabs a hold of the dead buggy and flings it into the ceiling. Wade shouts, "What was that, you jackhole? I love that car!" Itsy Bitsy tells them that they shouldn't fight. She doesn't want to hurt them, unless they're into that sort of thing. Webs begin whipping around, cutting off Wade's ear, and he tells Itsy Bitsy to come on down so we can spank her full of bullets. As the fight goes on, Itsy Bitsy tells him, I really don't want to fight. How about we skip all that stuff and we have a three-way team up already? She grabs onto Wade's grenades and throws them behind her, telling them, Toad cereal time out, and then there's an explosion. That looked badass, right? All backlit, shapow! The three rush into fighting as Itsy Bitsy grabs Spider-Man in a headlock and begins shooting Wade. She tells them, come on, we have a greater calling together. Itsy Bitsy then starts punching Spider-Man, and as Wade tries to stop her, she shoots acid on his chest. As a hole begins to burn through him, Wade tells her that this really knocks her down on the DP sexy scale. Itsy Bitsy takes out one of her swords and holds it above Spider-Man's head, but before she can bring it down, Wade quickly cuts off her hands. She turns around, stabbing another of her swords into Wade and tells him, that's interrupting, that's rude. As Spider-Man and Wade lay there, Spider-Man says they can't even touch her, and Itsy Bitsy tells them, this is your last chance, join me or it's goodbye. Wade tells him that he's got it, and he asks, how good is your healing factor, Spider-Man? Spider-Man says he doesn't have one, and Itsy Bitsy says that he's probably referring to the hundreds of pounds of C4 in the trunk of the buggy. Let's give it a whirl. Wade tells Spider-Man, don't worry, you won't feel a thing. And Spider-Man asks him, really? And Wade kind of gets rid of that idea. No, getting blown up hurts like a mother. From the fire, Itsy Bitsy stands up as her bones crack back into place, and after straightening her head, she says that this is why you never meet your heroes. Whatever, there's work to be done. And with that, Itsy Bitsy swings away singing, the Itsy Bitsy Spider. The story of Spider-Man and Deadpool took some really bizarre turns after Deadpool killed Spider-Man in the first storyline, but hey, whatever, I'm enjoying it. Do you like it? And do you like this idea of a spliced together Spider-Man Deadpool villain named Itsy Bitsy? Pretty crazy. Also, how do you feel about them mentioning games like Overwatch? Because I don't know, that's kind of weird for me. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Comicstorian and subscribe to the channel to get the next part of this story when we finally do it. I'll see you next time right here.